is to deprive the ANC of the ability to use state power to effect change. The formation of MK Party is not an accident. It is a deliberate attempt to use the proud history of armed struggle against the apartheid regime to lend credibility to what is a blatantly counter-revolutionary agenda. It was the sacred ground rule of Mkhonto Wesizwe, the glorious People's Army, which all its members were taught that this army was established to advance the political goals of the African National Congress. It implemented what the ANC-NEC instructed it to do. The war against poverty, inequality, and unemployment remains the primary objective of our transformation struggle. At this point in the national democratic revolution, there is no need to advance this program through the opportunistic use of military symbolism. The challenges of our struggle for a better life for all are difficult and diverse and require honest and dedicated leaders. To suggest that the solutions are easy is dishonest and smacks of populist self-gratification. At its last two national conferences, the ANC vowed to renew itself to more effectively address society's challenges and conduct its affairs in line with its core values. The ANC is committed to developing and, where necessary, correcting its members and leaders. However, as renewal gains momentum, Zuma and others whose conduct is in conflict with our values and principles will find themselves outside the African National Congress. The JZ Party project aims to cast doubt on our entire constitutional democracy. The ANC categorically rejects the dangerous suggestion that our electoral system can and will be manipulated. The Independent Electoral Committee is one of the most trusted public institutions. The entire voting process and counting process is monitored by party agents from all competing parties and international observers who have repeatedly declared our elections to be free and fair. The people of South Africa and the ANC will not allow a Renamo UNITA project in our country to discredit democratic outcomes that do not favor them and use violence against the people as a bargaining tool. This is the fundamental danger of the JZ project. It targets extremist instincts in our body politic and riles up a political base to foment social unrest. His actions reinforces the work of the primary right-wing opponents of the National Democratic Revolution. In this regard, in assuming this reactionary public posture, former President Zuma is actively asserting himself as the figurehead of counter-revolution in South Africa. Former President Jacob Zuma is actively impugning the integrity of the ANC and campaigning to dislodge the ANC from power, while claiming that he has not terminated his membership. This conduct is irreconcilable with the spirit of organizational discipline and letter of the ANC Constitution. This chain of events requires the organization to invoke measures to protect and preserve its integrity and prevent further damage to its reputation. Pursuant to this, the National Executive Committee, during its ordinary meeting held from 26 to 29 January 2024, resolve to invoke Rule 25.60 of the ANC Constitution. I quote, "If justifiable exceptional circumstances warrant an immediate decision of temporary suspension of a member without eliciting the comment or response of such member as contemplated above, the National Executive Committee, the National Working Committee, the Provincial Executive Committee, the Provincial Working Committee, as the case may be, may summarily suspend such member," close quote. The NEC concluded that exceptional circumstances exist to justify and warrant an immediate decision to suspend former ANC President Jacob Zuma in line with Rule 25.60 as stated above. The ANC is willing, able and ready to defend the gains of freedom and our constitutional democracy. Accordingly, we call on ANC members, our alliance partners, and all South Africans to reject the agenda of the JZ Party project and all other divisive, anti-transformation and counter-revolutionary projects aimed at derailing the forward march to a national democratic society. To this end, in conclusion, we have as well affirmed the action taken already by the organization to challenge the existence of this MK party as it is the symbol of the liberation movement led by the African National Congress, and at the same time the deregistration of this party in the Electoral Court of South Africa. And that has been submitted. And two, we have also challenged from the point of view of the trademark of Umkhonto Wesizwe, the existence of this party, as Umkhonto Wesizwe is the trademark of the African National Congress. Thank you very much.
Thank you, SG. I will at this point turn to members of the media, and it's a big room, so I'm going to start that side, start here at the beginning. News 24. Yes, and followed by Business Day. It was News 24, but proceed, Newsroom.
Junior Kumalo. Oh.
It's okay.
Okay. Junior Kumalo from Newsroom Africa. SG, you spoke about the rule that the ANC has, the ANC's NEC has invoked to suspend the former president. It's still unclear why then, if it's so clear in the rules of the ANC that if an individual takes the actions that the former president did can be suspended, why the ANC has taken so long to suspend him. Has this not created a lot of damage to the party itself, allowing him to make so many utterances and basically suggest that the ANC's current leadership is weak and does not want to take a stand against him? Thank you.
Very much. News 24.
Siamtanda Klappa from News 24. I just want to ask, possibly to go with Junior because it's similar. Between the time that the national chairperson said that the ANC doesn't want to be distracted, you might want to deal with this after the elections, what changed between then and now? Also, with the suspension and not an expulsion, which I understand would require a disciplinary process, etc., and I understand the former president will be given a chance to respond. Is the ANC, is there an appetite to get him to sit down with him, or is it just gone as where that's concerned? Thank you.
Afternoon, SG. It's Tando Mayeko from Business Day. So the ANC in eThekwini in December undertook exercise to see which members had deflected to the MK party. Would this be scaled up to a national level, and will this be followed up with national suspensions as well? And then Zuma is known to have helped the ANC a lot in KZN in terms of votes and the elections, that side. Do you think now with the suspension of the former president, the ANC is set to lose votes that side, because he does enjoy a large supporter base in his home province? Thank you.
Thank you very much. May I proceed? This row, I don't see anyone here. So I'll proceed and go here. But the documents, you're standing, Moloko. So let's start with you because you're standing. And then I'll come to Samkelo, and then we'll then have one first round. We'll definitely have a second round.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Moloko Mloto from ENCA. I just want to understand whether, as the ANC, you were caught by surprise when Mr. Zuma associated himself with this party on the 16th of December publicly, or had you always been aware of his activities leading to the 16th? But secondly, I would like to understand, because the fact that as the NWC and the NEC, you have had to sit and discuss this matter of Mr. Jacob Zuma formally. And my little understanding is that if an ordinary member were to transgress and the provincial secretary or even you as the SG can just decide to invoke certain provisions of Rule 25 and charge them. In this case, have you considered, as part of your discussions, perhaps given the fact that you have created an opportunity to discuss informally, have you considered an option of engaging him, since he's always been saying that he remained a member of the ANC, to try and check out perhaps if you can meet each other halfway in terms of his grievances? Or the decision was that he is incorrigible, there's no way he can be convinced otherwise?
I'll end off with SABC, and then we'll start with the next round once the SG has responded.
Samkele Masego from the SABC. Mr. Mbalula, just clarity. Is he temporarily suspended, or is he summarily suspended as a member of the ANC? Clarity on that, sir. And then secondly, on the issue of communication with him, what is the communication that you have with the former president? Does he have to write back to you after a number of days on why he should not be suspended, or provide reasons why he's contravened Rule 25 of the ANC Constitution? What is the process then going forth from now? Is he going to appear before the NDC? What happens now with this suspension that you have brought upon him? And then lastly, there was some within your, or through reports that you are getting within your NEC, that were pushing for the extreme, that he must be summarily expelled at this point in time. Why didn't you go for the harshest punitive measure of an immediate expulsion? Thank you.
Thank you very much, SG.
Thank you very much. Newsroom, why the ANC takes so long? It is not long. I mean, former President Zuma announced his actions on the 16th of December. We were definitely not going to convene an NEC meeting for that, because when somebody is disruptive, that's what they do. So what you do, you rally your forces, you observe the activities and the determination of an individual to get somewhere with what they have announced. We have seen people who have announced and made clarion calls and took decisions only to find that they are not firm. And secondly, you've got to put across the view that says President Zuma is almost a stalwart. He's old in the ANC. So when he arrived at that particular decision, you subject that to a thought process. And in this instance, the options of engagement equally are not closed. So that have been pursued over time, and they've proven to be worthless and not wielding any result, as he was in no position to engage with us as leadership. So it is not long. We are now in January end. A structure of the ANC have duly met and taken a decision. And that is not long. And President Zuma, I'm sure, between that decision and today, he has had more than 40 rallies in different areas. That shows his determination to leave the ANC, meaning forward ever, backward never. And then with one of the rallies in Kwaklimba yesterday. So that tells you that that person is not in a frame of mind of looking in a different direction. It is an act of disruption and determination to get to where they want to get to. So it's not long. It's a question of taking the right decision at the right time and giving people the benefit of doubt in whatever that they do. Deservedly so, because they've served this organization for the longest of time. And you can't run away from the fact that when that happened, others dismissed it as an April Fool. And it was not. We knew that this thing has been in the works, and we knew that MK will be announced on the 16th. And because the first initiative to try and form this party was thwarted off, you will see in our papers in court. It did not succeed. So it was a shock to us that it succeeded, despite the submissions we made. But that is a matter for the courts to decide, the electoral court. But in this particular instance, you know, when something you observe and then you come across it, you think that, no, it can't happen. But eventually it does happen. And the way we have known about it, and then it was confirmed on the 16th, not by Dalai Lama approach, but by Jacob Zuma himself. He didn't send somebody to announce it on his behalf. He owned it up. But because it's a disruptive, it has to have complications. I'm still in and a member of the ANC. So that is the disruption element of it that it has come with. So I'm not leaving. I'm challenging the status quo, but in a different way. Knowing very well that the ANC has got a constitution, it has got a following, it has got membership. There's no self-respecting party that run its own affairs without rules and without discipline. He knows that very well. So it's an act of being disruptive to terrorize the ANC membership with a decision, and when everybody is confused, and then you deal with the party, bringing it down to the ground. And between then and now, you will see that the mobilization has been going hard on the ground, but equally we're monitoring the response, where it is, the pockets of it and all of that. So you're not trailing the party. So you do what you're supposed to do as the ANC. The shocker was COPE. This act is not a shocker because it was to be expected, because you have had a big group of people who have rallied behind President Zuma whilst they were within the ANC and have vowed not to work for our party. And some of them even could not make it to the power structures of leadership in the ANC. And they've been hanging there without an option. And so now that the MK party is announced, we see them mushrooming there. And others have gone to the EFF and all of that. So people were denouncing the party on daily basis. On daily basis. So these are not new faces. They call themselves names within the party. RT forces, all of that. it has gone that direction. So each one of them who leaves going that direction is not a shocker that these people indeed were within our movement and the party and not working within the rules of the party or promoting the brand ANC, but working to implode the ANC from within. So it's not a